You are now listening to the Lasting Legacy Podcast.
What's up, everybody? After some technical difficulties, we're back with another episode of the Lasting Legacy Podcast. Today, before we watch the video, please subscribe to the YouTube channel because 82% of you don't even subscribe, but you still watch the videos. So anyway, today we have two very special guests. We have Austin and Payton, and they are co-owners of Fast House Performance Diesel here in Pueblo, Colorado. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us.
What's up? Thanks for having us, guys.
Heck yeah. My name is David. I own David Took It Photography, Videography, and I usually ask the questions around here. So we'll start with you, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Austin, co-owner of Fast House Performance. Not a whole lot, but just work on trucks and cars, anything horsepower. That's pretty much it.
Nice.
What's up, guys? I'm Payton. Same story, you know. Anything with some wheels and tires, you know. That's our go-to.
Heck yeah. No, that's super awesome. What made you guys start working on trucks, Austin?
But just always, like, since I was little, always, you know, the black smoke, you know, is always like appealing to the eye. So I kind of got into diesels, and I was that guy, you know, it was rolling coal everywhere, whatever, when I was younger. Now I hate it. But,
yeah. But you still do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we don't.
Not really, no.
Allegedly.
But yeah, we just, like, you know, horsepower. Cars are another big thing. You know, I got a Corvette that, you know, we had it in the shop for like 4 months doing stuff to it, waiting on parts and building it up. But
nice.
anything that's fast and
Looks
horsepower.
cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, man? How'd you get into this?
Yeah, I'm Payton. So I started doing trucks by, you know, just being a good old country boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, needed a truck through high school and stuff like that, and, you know, started building my own pickups, started building everybody else's pickups, and, you know, here we are. So
Nice.
yeah.
Heck yeah. So when you guys first started, were you in a garage? Did you guys just jump and say, nope, this is going to work, I'm going to get a shop? Or what did that look like?
Well, we actually, I bought a truck from him, and that's kind of like how we met. And I traded him, you know, some parts and stuff too for it, for his new truck that he had bought. And I was like, I'll help you put it on. You know, I've been doing it on the side, you know, whatever.
Nice.
So we hung out there and, you know, did that kind of stuff. And I was like, we could do this all the time if you want to, like, do side jobs, you know, whatever, you know, fixing people's trucks. So we started in my garage for, I don't know, probably, you know, 5-6 months or so maybe.
Yeah.
And it started off, you know, with a couple trucks here and there, and the next thing I know, there's like 20 trucks in my driveway at a time. And I was just like, dude, we gotta, like, figure something out. Like, are we gonna quit our jobs and, you know, do this full time? Can it work that way? Like, do you have the drive for that? You know, like, can you help me, you know, get the motivation, you know, to do that? And
Yeah.
yeah, it all worked out. But
That's insane. Where did you work before you started doing all this?
so I worked for Wagner Cat, and I was just a field service technician for them for a while, and just drove around and fixed heavy equipment and stuff. So always been in, like, the repair
Okay.
kind of scene. But
So you were mechanically inclined before you made this jump?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was like a learn as you go or just YouTube it and
No,
fake it till we
I
make
mean-
it type of thing.
There's some things you run into, you know, like, man,
Yeah.
I've never seen this before. Like, why is this truck doing this, or why is this car doing this, whatever, you know? And then you actually learn a lot because you're backtracking everything,
Yeah.
and, you know, you just pretty much learn as you go. You know, that's kind of like how I learn, is like hands on. You know,
Oh, okay.
it's like I can't just like read a book and like, okay, so I have to do it. Like, a picture would be better, you know, or someone that has been through that same situation telling you, like, hey, this is like what you need to look for and stuff like that. So we've learned a lot, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
business side and work side. So
Nice.
So what were you up to then before all this?
So I was a salesman at United Rentals, actually.
Oh, okay.
That was a kind of between thing, you know. Had to have some surgeries and stuff like that, so I needed a nice, safe job, you know, that wasn't manual labor. So that's what I did when Austin and I, like, really started getting into this, and which was good because I had a lot of time to do the things we needed to do, you know, after hours and stuff like that. So it worked good.
So you sold the truck and met, and that's kind of like, you were like, oh, let me help you put these truck parts
Pretty
on I
much,
just
yeah.
gave you. And then you're like,
Yeah,
damn.
pretty much. Yeah. And, like, Austin and I knew each other previously.
Yeah.
You know, we just, like, never were close or, like, really hung out that well, you know, at all, really. I mean, he knew who I was, I knew who he was, and that was kind of the way it went, you know. And then just kind of, like, we just get along well, and it kind of sparked a good friendship. And we're like, oh, let's do this, I guess, you know.
yeah.
So it was like pretty quick turnaround then, right?
It was very fast.
Yeah.
Very fast, yeah.
How long have you guys been in business?
according to the IRS, since May of last year.
Shout out to the IRS.
Number 5. No, that's super awesome. So you started in whose garage?
His garage.
His garage.
His garage,
and then at what point, I mean, you said that there was trucks up and down your driveway, probably down the block at this point.
Yeah, we were getting letters from the city and everything too.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, well, the county, not the city, but we were getting letters. People were complaining, and it was like we had just signed the lease on our new shop, and like he's like, dude, check this letter out. You know, like we he's like, that was good timing.
In the letter, it was funny because I think at the time, like we both had like a lot of trucks at the time. I think I had like three different trucks, and the letter comes in the mail, and it's just like, you're conducting business out of your house, and they had pictures of like these 3 trucks, and I owned every single one of those trucks that were in the video, so it was kind of funny.
That's
but
insane.
You think they'd like cross-reference some license plates or something?
Yeah. I actually called him and I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I was like, I own all these trucks right here. And he's like, well, if you're going to be working on them, you need to be working on them in your garage, and, you know, not outside. And I was like, we don't work them outside. It's freaking cold outside. You know?
They act like you're in the road with the jack stand. You know, like working on trucks. That's insane. Yeah. Well, needless to say, every time you do an oil change, just kick it into the gutter now.
Yeah.
You know?
Dump it on the street.
So I'm assuming you guys ended up getting a shop, which is where you're at now, correct?
Correct.
What did that process kind of look like? Did you guys, know a friend of a friend who had it, or?
Yeah. So we looked for a shop for probably 3 months, like 3 solid months, like really looking for a shop. We found a really nice one that was huge. It would have been great for us, but it was an old grow house, and the electricity was unreal. One of my mom is really well connected in the business industry, and is good friends with our landlord, and so that's how we ended up getting our building. Yep.
Yeah. How long have you guys been in there now?
It'll be a year in May.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give somebody who might be in your, situation, like the driveway mechanic essentially, who's looking to take that next step? What were some of the troubles and things that you went through?
One thing Austin and I always heard, we had a lot of connections and stuff, is always scared money doesn't make no money, and that was like the biggest advice, as dumb as it sounds, like if you're gonna just tiptoe into it, you're never gonna make it.
You just have to dive in.
You got to go into it. You got to spend the money and have something to work for. Not necessarily just like, this is a side thing or whatever. Like you got to be able to. You're paying your bills off of it, that kind of thing. Like that's the biggest thing I think we both found.
Yeah, if you have the motivation and drive, you're not lazy. Anyone can make it happen.
100%.
Really. Just got to make that initial jump, and that's all it takes.
No, that's super awesome.
Yeah, you got to invest money into your own business. A lot of people go into business just to take home more money. You know what I mean? But people don't realize it is
costs a
true.
lot of money.
Scared money don't make money.
Yeah.
If you take your money home and you just waste it and do whatever, not put anything back to your business, is not going to give you any love back either.
For sure.
Yeah, and this being our first year, we do invest a lot into it. We don't take as much home, rather than buying tooling and stuff like that for the shop, and things that make it better for us in the future, to where we don't have to do that all the time.
Yeah, in your guys' industry, it's not cheap.
No.
I mean, how much was your button down? Because it says Snap on there. So
I don't know. He actually bought it for me.
I don't know. It's $5 a week for
a good business partner.
Oh yeah, that's another thing about business. He is a good business partner. We always buy each other stuff, but
we take care of each other.
Yeah,
we're friends.
Brad's
before
never
anything
bought
else,
me anything. I'm just going to go on the record and say that.
I've saved him money on taxes. Does that count?
You know what size of Gucci socks I wear. So.
Damn, bro. I'll get you a Snap-on shirt first. We'll start there.
Good luck. It might be cheaper to get the flops, honestly. That's super awesome. So it started off as just you two, and then you kind of grew a little bit, I'm assuming. Yep. You had more room to park more trucks, so therefore more trucks are showing up. Did you guys hire any employees, or, have you guys dealt with the employment thing? That's kind of a reoccurring question with us, is the employment situation.
Yeah. I mean, we hired 2. I mean, we were in the shop for a little bit, and we hired one guy. He's kind of like an apprentice, he runs parts and does kind of the stuff that we don't want to do,
like research parts and order. Yeah.
Sorry, Ty, if you're watching this, but but no, he's learning. He's doing really good. So I think he's gonna be good in the long run. It's better to train someone young, and hopefully they stick with you.
No bad habits.
This question's a selfish one for me personally, because I always like to ask people to get the insight. Because that's been one of my hardest struggles, is to continue growing with employees. You know, it's like a whole nother monster.
It really is.
So
Yeah.
I always like to get the insight of everyone else's experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've had some good and bad experiences. You know, at the end of the day.
I feel like you can't take the good without the bad for sure.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
some people, I'm assuming, would lie to get there. You know, lie on the resume, and then you know you realize quickly that they don't know anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 100%. The biggest thing is like the cost of like losing parts, you know, like keeping track of time. Like that's the biggest thing, especially like in our industry at least. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to, you know, bill $115 an hour, harder to keep track of where that money's going, you know.
That's true, yeah.
And when we're losing parts or whatever, you know, or something goes missing or whatever the case may be, you know.
I was going to say, I mean, you know, with the shortage of shipping, you know, with the shipping situation and truckers and all that stuff, I mean, the longer you keep a truck at your house, the more money you're losing, essentially, you know. Yeah. So, I mean, what exactly do you guys do at Fast House Performance? I guess we kind of skipped over that, so.
Yeah.
So we do performance, repair, like one-off builds, so like lift kits, wheels, and tires. We actually have 4 SEMA trucks that we're building this year. One's a shop truck, and then we have 3 other customers. We have another SEMA truck that we're just redoing it's an older SEMA truck for a guy, and that stuff, and like high horsepower builds, so people that want like bigger turbos or like, you know, bigger fuel systems or, you know, things like that. You know, we'll do all that, you know, engine swaps, rebuilding engines, pretty much anything, we'll do it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's cool.
That hurts my head.
SEMA is pretty crazy. So you guys build trucks for other companies to bring the SEMA, or how's that work?
Kind of the way it works. So usually what you do is you find a spot like in a booth, you know, like our trucks are going in the Fusion Bumpers booth. Okay. The customer usually gets a set of bumpers at cost or whatever the case may be. You know, and then that truck goes in their booth as like a promotion, basically. At the end of the day, it's not free. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what anybody says. It's not free. That stuff costs money. Labor costs money. It's just the, you know, everybody's like, oh, you got your $140,000 truck built for free. No, they paid $140,000 for it, you know. But there are things you get from that, you know, like bumpers or wheels or whatever. You know, you get it at cost.
Publicity, you know, a lot of eyes on your work.
Yeah. It's a trade show displayed vehicle. So like these companies are basically putting their product on your truck to showcase, you know, for the world to see. You know, at SEMA, it's like it's nation or worldwide. So you get all kinds of people, and they basically like, hey, I'm going to give you these bumpers for 50% off. You know, you get a half off set of bumpers just for you to showcase their product for everybody to see. And some people think that like, oh, the companies are just going to give you all this stuff for free because that's advertising for them. That's not what it is.
No, it doesn't work like that at all.
But
absolutely,
it is a, you know, a good deal if you have, you know, a good budget and you want to build a show truck or whatever it may be. There are companies that they give you like a little discount or, you know, whatever, just to showcase their stuff,
whatever.
And we have all those connections with those people, you know, like we're friends with a lot of the owners of those big companies and stuff like that, so like we can, you know, always help someone if they want to get into that. But
so how'd you get those connections with those people?
So I built most of my buddy Mark's truck. He's here in town in 2016, and that was when I first got introduced to that. I mean, we weren't even actually really friends at the time. He just, you know, he needed some help, and I wanted to help him out because it was like a cool thing to be a part of. And I hauled him to SEMA and everything, and I just, you know, just started talking to everybody. You know, I was like, man, this is like what I'm into. So I like kind of see how they're all doing it and stuff like that. And I still have those contacts to this day, and they still, you know, use us for everything. And
that's awesome. Yeah.
That is cool. It's interesting because everyone's all about like social media and everything.
Yeah,
and you did it really old school.
Yeah,
hand them a business card, take down their number, make a lasting impression. You know, a genuine friendship. You know,
people overlook it a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, I met the owner from Fusion, Johnny. I met him back in 2016. I still, you know, talk to him to this day. You know, he still texts me, and I have, you know, 5 trucks going with him. You know,
that's
this
awesome.
year, or 4 trucks going with him this year. So
no, that's really cool. I mean, that's the Super Bowl equivalent of your industry. You know, being at that show, and for you guys only being open a year, and you already have 5 trucks there. You know, like the sky's really the limit at this point. You know, it's kind of like always what's next. You know,
I mean, where we're at right now was like honestly my dream back in 2016. You know, I was like, I want my own shop. I want my own trucks here. I want to build people's trucks and bring them here. You know, and here it is. You know, and it's just like now we're like used to it, but it's like actually if you think about it, it's like, man, that's crazy.
No, absolutely. And it's hard to continue to set goals. Usually that's a question we ask in the end, but since we're on the topic, like you set that goal in 2016 to get a truck to SEMA. 5 trucks later, and probably growing, like what is your goals now? What are those goals looking like? Because you have to keep setting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a that's a tough topic to answer. Like we're small. Like the shop's small, but we're small. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, and it's just the 3 of us. And there's going to be obviously more guys in the future. It's going to have to be, but the market for like that type of build in Colorado is pretty small usually. And especially here in Pueblo. If you go to Denver, it's a little different story, but here in Pueblo, the market isn't as large, so it's tough to say what the growth looks like, as far as like the SEMA stuff goes, like the big shows, like that kind of thing, But I mean, obviously we are still growing and very fast at that. So, who's to say?
Yeah. What about you, man? I mean, you kind of like umbrellaed it, but like individually, I'm sure you both have goals, whether it's like, oh, we want to 6-figure the company or 7-figure it or incorporate or whatever.
Yeah, we definitely both have that same goal. I think we're both like pretty much on the same page right now. Just try to, grow what we have right now and make that bigger. Like we both do want to be big, like Diesel Brothers big. Eventually, I mean that's not gonna happen overnight, but like that's how we think. Like we're a year into this and we're like, dude, we're like, how come we're not flying helicopters?
Exactly. Heavy D will make you want to get a helicopter really quick.
In a hurry.
Yeah.
They all will. All those YouTubers, man. But like a personal goal of mine like would be $1 million next year. Like that's our like my personal goal for the business, and I'm sure he's probably on the same page with that. You know?
Yeah, we got a little goal too. Like I want a YouTube channel, for like what we do, like showcase what we do.
I feel like if Diesel Brothers is like an actual goal, I feel like showing that you are marketable as personalities, I feel like that is absolutely huge. Lifting the YouTube channel off the ground, it's going to take a little bit to get at least one video to pop, and then once that one goes, I feel like you guys will just take off for sure.
An interesting thing about like Heavy D is I think they're showing Discovery Channel's over now.
I think they're redoing it.
Did they redo it?
That's what I heard.
So I don't know, but I know his YouTube channel is growing like crazy.
Yeah.
Like he went from 0 to 3 point some million or whatever
in less than a year.
Yeah, and obviously he's got a lot of clout on other places, and he can do all this cool stuff. But yeah, it's kind of ironic. TV versus YouTube. It's almost like.
In my opinion, I think YouTube's better.
YouTube might be better to have than the TV style,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't. Business-wise, those guys are geniuses.
Oh, yeah.
They got 7 different businesses within one business, like.
That's crazy.
They're
that's something a lot of people don't realize is, like, you can be a great mechanic but a terrible business owner, Like, you kind of have to be, where he lacks, you have to pick up and vice versa,
Yeah.
That's super awesome. Going back to some of those connections, who are some of the coolest and biggest names that you guys have worked with in your industry?
Oh man,
obviously Fusion bumpers.
Yeah,
Fusion we're pretty close with.
That's tough to say, honestly. I mean,
XTP, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah, we do a lot with like a lot of big companies, but like it's the work with them is like that's kind of loose definition, what I'm saying?
Of course,
like,
I mean, they send you parts,
exactly.
and you put it on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like working with somebody's a little different story, Like most of the time, there's a lot of competition in like this stuff we do, and
of course,
people are less willing to share their knowledge or share their expertise or whatever the case may be. So they kind of keep that stuff hush hush for most of the part. But there are a few shops that we've worked with, like we've got a couple, trucks from other shops we're working on and stuff like that. So
kind of like a combined effort, essentially.
Yeah, you could say that. I'd say that's probably a good word for it.
Yeah. There's I don't know if you guys ever heard of them. There's like BCC Customs, which is like Lacey Blair and Zach Pennock. They're pretty famous in the truck world, and 5R Trucks, which is in Denver. They're pretty big into it. They do a lot of SEMA stuff.
So you guys mainly do the motor inside, drivetrain, all that good stuff. Now you guys wouldn't really be putting TVs in headrests, I'm assuming, or
no, not a thing.
What's the cool new thing on TikTok with the Rolls Royce ceilings with the fiber optic? It looks cool.
We have done those.
Was it worth it? Was it? No.
Sucks.
It looks so crazy.
You cannot pay me enough to do it again.
No, we actually have a buddy right now. We have his wife's Tahoe in the shop right now, and it's a SEMA vehicle, and it's all lifted up and stuff. And they're wanting to do a star headliner, and
You're like, just buy
keeps
it.
asking. He's like, hey man, me and you can do it. And I was like, dude, they suck. They do suck.
It sucks. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
So getting on the topic of trends and stuff, what's your number one truck trend that's going on right now that you just despise or that you're not too fond of?
I think
Carolina squat. Gotta say it.
Or stretched wheels. I think we talked about that earlier.
Stretched wheels.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, explain what a stretched wheel is.
So a stretched wheel, you have like a 14 wide tire with like a 12 wide wheel on it, or even like a 10 wide
To
wheel.
get a wheel lip.
Yeah, so
look.
basically the sidewall of the tire is, part of the flat part of the tire, and then your wheel is just like hanging out.
Oh, okay.
And no sidewall at all.
No sidewall at all.
Yeah.
Just
It's kind of like what the JDM guys do, like the same thing.
I was going to say, I'm partial to stretch tires. I like it. But it not on
there
a truck,
can be
obviously.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all right with a little bit.
I was going to
It wasn't
say.
super bad to where you can see like the whole lip of the wheel,
I was going to say, Lexus and BMW, they stretch right out of, like moderately stretch right out of this, the factory and stuff.
Yeah.
But the extreme stretching is.
Yeah. Well, and let alone it's not even safe. These trucks weigh 8,000 to 10,000 pounds, and you're putting tiny little tires on a heavy ass truck.
A lot different when you're putting on a Civic and an F450.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah.
And it's starting to go away. We don't really see it a whole lot anymore, but.
And then what was the other thing you said? A Carolina what?
Carolina squat. That's my biggest pet peeve. Which, if you don't know,
like this, right?
yes,
Or something?
exactly.
Where you put a
yeah.
lift kit on the front of it and not on the back, and it just.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like you're looking at the sky.
Yeah.
But we don't really have that a lot around.
Not here. No, it's not a big deal here.
No,
I see it on TikTok for sure.
Yes,
though.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
absolutely.
get a Carolina squat with stretched tires on there.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're a pioneer, but
No.
anything else,
That's
like even
funny.
past trends that you're like, thank God that's not a thing anymore. You guys have been into it for a minute.
And I shouldn't say this because, from our customer base, but I do not like fender flares. I cannot stand fender flares.
The fake ones or the rivets?
Just
Any
the
of them?
fake ones that people put that are like super
The rough
wide and
country?
their tires are still like
Yeah.
way inside of them. Like if the truck has like really wide wheels, like they kind of look okay, but I hate when people like take a nice truck and put these plastic fender flares around them because they don't want mud on the side of it. It's just like,
Dang.
I don't know.
With their stock factory tires, wheel setup.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Looks like
exactly.
the truck missed leg
That
day.
does look
100%, yeah.
What about you, man? Any other pet peeves or past, present?
Yeah, rolling coals were my biggest one, honestly.
That's super interesting.
Yeah. People, asking all the time, like, hey, can I get a, smoke file? Nah, you can't. Like, sorry, man. It just doesn't
Dang.
happen no more.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve, man. It drives me freaking crazy. I see it all the time, and and that's what led us to the fact that diesels are being so shut down. Is the rolling coal thing. That was a big deal. And that's my biggest pet peeve, honestly.
Yeah, when I had my truck, I couldn't even roll coal really if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It was just like an old 6.0.
Yeah.
But I mean, I never really got the benefit. I never really got the point of doing it myself.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to it at all other than just being annoying.
Yeah, that's
in my opinion.
kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
guess if you want to be like an asshole to someone,
That's what
or
it is,
something,
yeah.
It just
but-
to us, it just means your tuning sucks. Like your truck's not
Yeah.
running good.
Yeah.
it kind of gives like a bad rep,
It does.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if the truck makes 1,000 horsepower, it's gonna smoke. That's just what happens, But your stock truck doesn't need to smoke.
Yeah.
Dang,
I
no,
love
that's
that.
true. I know in the car community there's a lot of talk over wheel spacers. Are you guys for them, against them? I mean,
They get used
it's
a lot in our
different. I'm
industry.
sure your SEMA truck has wheel spacers, but your
Yeah.
SEMA truck is also not pulling a trailer usually.
Yeah. They get used a lot. My truck has spacers on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-inch
Seen a-
spacers, and I pull our most of the trailers around our shop. And
Safety wise, you feel like it is safe.
yeah, I would not have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you spend the money on good ones. If you buy $30 ones from Amazon, there's a chance you're gonna break something.
And he's also on stock wheels too, so that
Yeah.
helps a lot too. If you have super wide wheels, where they're hanging out a foot past the fender, the trucks, things are gonna get wore out.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So I was kind of curious. I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about being in a partnership because a lot of the partnerships I've worked with, they usually are pretty rough, rocky road. You know what I mean? So to have a good successful partnership, it's hard. It's it's like a marriage. You're committed. You know what I mean? So how did you guys kind of build that? I guess if that makes sense.
So it kind of works out he handles the truck side of it, I handle the business side of it, and like we both work really well together. Hardly ever is there an argument, and if there is, it's usually settled really quickly, and we just like we understand like my money is his money is my money, and the company's money is both of our money, and like that's the way it works. And we do realize like that we are pretty much married to each other, like like that's just the reality.
It's true.
Of it,
It is
like,
100%.
yeah, like if I'm going down, he's going down with me, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Till death do us part, baby.
yeah, pretty
You guys
much.
did
Yeah.
like a blood oath with like a torch.
Yeah, a couple of knives,
Yeah, no,
blood
exactly.
brothers.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone like says like business partners never last. I don't think I ever see that happening, but it's been great. Like, he does like the business side of it, like he said, and like I just stick to like the shop side of it, and kind of oversee that
guys-
stuff. But
Sorry.
pretty easy. Oh, I'm done.
You have pretty good communication, I imagine, right?
Yeah,
I
absolutely,
mean,
yeah.
it's
Kind of see that for sure.
it's kind of funny because you said like our money is my money's his money, and so on and so forth. Like that's how it is in like my marriage, legitimately.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm the accountant. I handle the money, but I tell my wife she knows where all the money's going. She knows what everything's doing. She doesn't work right now, but when she did have a job, like our money went together. We have one
Sure.
bank account, and it sounds very similar, honestly, and that's kind of how it has to be, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
mean-
like there's things like I don't tell him everything. Like he doesn't need to know how much the heat bill is. You know what I'm saying? Like, like who cares?
Yeah.
Like, but like everything else is all as transparent as it can be. And
Nice.
You know,
That's a good dynamic for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, like if he wants something, he just tells me, hey, I'm gonna, buy this or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, whatever,
Yeah.
They just tell him like, hey, I'm gonna buy this. He's like, yeah, that's fine.
So
You
who's
need a
the
new
spender in
Snap-on
the
shirt.
relationship? Who's the big spender?
I think we're pretty even.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
definitely very even.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, especially in the beginning, you're like very diligent. Like, okay, we're buying this only shit that we do need, But I mean, you got to splurge sometime.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, we have $800 on office chairs for the two of us. So
yeah. Okay. See, that's worth it. Yeah. What's more expensive, the office chairs or the creepers in the?
office chairs for
Definitely
sure,
office chairs.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
That's super awesome.
The gaming chairs.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
the
what you're
gaming
talking about,
chairs.
yeah.
What is
They look
the,
like race car seats. Like we gotta have them.
They
Like,
do. They do. I want one in here so bad.
yeah, they're sweet.
is that big in the truck community? Like you mentioned race car seats, like bride seats, and like all that in the car community. What is the equivalent in trucks, or do people just stay stock on seats?
They mostly say stock on seats unless you're building like a race truck. You just buy the same.
The
seats that
highest
race
trim level
cars
of
have.
your truck
Yeah.
Yeah.
version.
There
of your
are
seat?
like SEMA trucks. Like we actually both SEMA trucks we have at the shop right now. Both have aftermarket seats in them. Well, not
Yeah.
seats necessarily, reskinned. Not
Oh,
aftermarket
okay.
seats.
Okay.
All we do is
custom
just-
upholstery.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
pull the
Okay.
seats out and then we'll just take the upholstery off and put new upholstery on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
then
And you
they
guys
come-
do that in house, or do you
Yeah.
outsource for
We
that?
do it in house.
Oh, that's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's not like it's a
It's super easy.
yeah.
So you buy a pre-made skin essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're
See,
not
I
like
thought you
sewing
were
it
out there
together.
sewing. I was
No.
like, dang. I've seen a guy I used to work with. He does upholstery and like headliners, all of it, and like does it from scratch with blanks, and that he tried to explain it, and I can't understand that at all.
No.
Kudos to those guys.
My mom might be able to do it though. If we asked.
Bring her in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Your
Bring
mom's
it
making
on
me
the- get it
Louis
on the
Vuitton seats
payroll.
for my car.
Let's do it.
What's the best part about owning this business so far?
Honestly, probably the fun we have.
Yeah, like we have fun every day. Like
Yeah.
I don't even go to work. I just go to my shop.
Yeah.
and I just do my own thing pretty
No,
much
that's
on
awesome.
other
Yeah.
people's stuff. So it's definitely it's really different like not working for somebody because you're like your direction is how you make it instead of someone telling you your direction.
Yeah.
So it's like that was different for a while, but now we just know like what needs to happen and this needs to be done so we can get paid or whatever.
Now, as far as local competition in town, do you have any at this point? Because I could think of another company that I've heard of forever that puts a sticker on everybody's truck, and
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know him personally, but I don't know, is that even in the same realm of what you guys do, essentially?
no, we're way bigger.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we put out way more than they do.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm not gonna. I wouldn't say that we have competition because we actually collab a little bit with the other shops in town. Like Optimal Diesel and a little bit with like big gyms and stuff. Sometimes we outsource like some things,
bounce
as
work
far
off
as like
of each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Optimal Diesel, they do like strictly repair. Like they do in-depth repair, you know, and we do that too. But we also do a lot more of like, you know, retail stuff and custom stuff that he doesn't really do as much. But we actually, you know, we share work between each other. His shop's pretty close to ours.
Nice.
And it's been, you know, he's a good guy, and like he's helped us a lot, you know, and if we can help him, we help him. But
no, that's awesome. I feel like that's important too, is, you know, to keep your enemies close. Essentially, it's not even for that. It's just you guys can move a lot faster together than you can apart, you know, especially, you know, with like shop prices and all that stuff. As long as everybody's pretty close, you know, like it just comes down to who people want to go to. And, you know, there's no price gouging going on.
No,
you know,
and like, to be honest with you, as far as like shops go in town, we're the most expensive.
No, okay.
100%.
Yeah.
Other than the dealerships, we're the most expensive. And
No,
that
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, just the nature of the work we do, you know, and
Which is awesome.
yeah, it is good. I mean, yeah, it is good, I guess.
I guess, I mean,
People are
that's,
gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say there seems to be enough food for everybody. You
oh
know what
yeah,
I mean?
there's diesel work for everybody, you know, in our industry there is.
Yeah.
But I think we're just like a lot different, you know, like we get a customer in and we're very personable, you know, we're not just trying to get him in and out, you know, we talk to him, you know, see what's going on and stuff like that. Like, cause like at the end of the day, like we want, you know, a personable, you know, a kind of personal relationship with everybody that walks through our doors. You know, we don't want them to just think like, we want them to feel comfortable that their stuff's there and that they can rely on us and stuff like that. You know, we're not just trying to get them in and get their money and get them out. You know?
No, of course. You want to provide a quality, you know, customer experience and, you know, product.
Yeah, and I want to see them out in public, you know, and like be able to have a conversation with them, you know, like
that makes going to truck shows a lot easier too.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Like I try to remember like something about the person. Like I always, you know, ask probing questions, obviously, right? And like I remember something about them. It's when I see them again, like, hey, how is so and so, or who, you know, or something like
huge.
that, you know. And like people are shocked that you remember that kind of stuff because you've met them once, you know. And I know it's like that is a huge advantage, I think.
That's one of the few things I did learn in college. Actually, one of my business communications professor would tell me every time he'd meet with a client, he'd have their folder and he would take notes about every meeting, even if it was something little like, oh, my dog went to the vet today or something. And the next time they're like, he pulls up the notes and he's like, oh, hey, how's your dog doing? You know what I mean? And you really create that.
Yeah, that's a great thing. So, you know, they think like, wow, you're really paying that much close attention, you know, to, you know, that just shows you care. Like we had one customer we did like a big job on, and it was a lot of work, and we released that truck. He came and got it, and I think it was like a couple weeks later I gave him a call and I was like, hey, I just wanted to check up on you, see how things were going with your truck and everything. And he's just like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, I just want to make sure. He's like, I've never had this happen to me. And I was
That's
just
crazy.
like,
yeah.
I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, this is unreal. I was like, all right. He's like, I'm gonna write you guys a review. He's like, I'm so grateful for that. And I was like,
No, that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's the little things for sure, you know.
So how much of your work is like repair and maintenance, and then how much of it is like performance? You know what I mean?
So we're kind of like kind of in a transitioning stage currently. We are kind of going away from like the big repair jobs and going into more performance and builds. Neither of us like fixing trucks, to be honest with you.
It's just boring.
It is. It's
Comparatively.
very stressful. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always something wrong, you know, that kind of thing. So we're kind of transitioning a little bit. When we first started, it was mostly repairs, you know, a little bit of performance, mostly repairs, because that's what keeps the doors open, you know, but now we can be choosy with what we want to do, you know, versus like we have to take everything, you know, like now. So honestly, like we're probably like 60% performance and builds versus 40% repairs, you know.
Ideally, what's that percentage?
100% performance and builds,
100%
0% repairs.
zero? I like it.
What if it's a performance related repair?
That's a different
You know what I
story.
mean?
That's a different story.
We probably won't ever get away from repair. We'll still be doing it like a little bit, but what we're sick of doing is fixing other shops' repairs.
I gotcha.
And then we're having to like, you know, make the
Unfuck
customer
that.
happy with us because the other customer or the other company, you know, pissed them off or whatever. I'm not going to say names, but we do get a lot of trucks, you know, from other companies and we're having to like resolve whatever they did, you know, and then usually they're just doing things that don't have anything to do with what the repair needed initially. So we have to backtrack everything, and it's just like we just lose out.
No, absolutely. I could see that. And that would be super frustrating if one of my clients was like, hey, can you re-edit this photo that this photographer fucked up?
Exactly.
Exactly. No, go back to them.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That happens a lot for me.
Yeah.
I can see. Yeah, definitely for you.
bet.
You're unfucking a lot of situations.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that personally.
Pays the bills,
for me, yeah.
Yeah, we had a truck that sat at our shop for months that another shop totally built. I mean, engine out, cab off, the whole thing, and the truck wouldn't run. And all kinds of stuff was wrong. The guy, our customer paid him like 20 G's to get all this done, and like, it's,
oh my God.
Yeah, and it didn't run. Like,
It's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap. And then it came to us, and obviously we're like
40 grand, I'll fix it.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, that's what it takes, and like. It's funny, you mentioned like 40 grand and like everybody's like, hey, I want to make 1,000 horsepower. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's going to cost you this much money. And everybody's like, you know what? Maybe I'll wait on that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's why.
What about 600?
That's super interesting. So the performance builds that you are doing for people, are they race trucks? Are they just personal goals? Like, what are these trucks used for exactly?
Off-road performance only.
Allegedly. Awesome. Yeah.
There's some like racetrack applications that we do and stuff like that, but mostly towing vehicles. They want more horsepower for
Bigger
towing.
turbo.
Bigger exactly.
Yeah, like
bigger
most of the
turbos,
time,
transmissions.
we're not doing like 1,000 horsepower builds. You know what I'm saying? Like it's usually like, hey, my truck is, I drive an '06 Dodge Cummins. I want to make a little bit more power, bigger turbo, tune, call it a day. Like it's not like
I got you.
We're not doing crazy builds all the time.
I was going to say that would be insane, especially in the market that we're currently in.
Right.
Of course, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
I think I saw you posted something. You were doing like a landscaping company's truck or something.
Oh,
They had
yeah.
like a big old black F450, I think.
Oh yeah.
And so did you just kind of do
That
a
was
little
just
bit?
a lift kit.
Oh,
Lift kit, wheels and
okay.
tires,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
lift wheels and tires. Yeah.
So just kind of whatever someone comes in and
Yeah,
needs,
yeah.
I guess, for whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that truck turned out actually really good.
Yeah, it was clean.
Um,
It was
Yeah, it's a
really
nice
clean.
truck. Yeah, nothing like $100,000 truck and $15,000 worth of wheels.
Yeah, and he's
That'll-
he owns that company, so that's a contractor truck. He drives it
That's
everywhere.
awesome.
I just posted a picture of it recently, all muddy and stuff. That I was actually
It
just seeing
actually
this
gets
weekend.
used.
Yeah. I was like, well, not everything we do is for show.
Right.
Like,
No, that's super cool to show because everyone's like, oh man, that's a sweet pavement princess. It's never
Yeah.
gotten dirty.
And that's
and
just
like
like-
some trucks don't get dirty. You know,
Yeah.
that's the nature of it.
and it's like, well, it's their money. If they
Yeah.
want a pavement princess, who cares? It looks good.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I know Brad had mentioned something about him going to school. Did any one of you guys go to school for any of this?
I did. I actually, or not actually for truck stuff, but when I got hired on with Caterpillar, they have their own schooling in Denver, and you actually get an associate's degree, like a real associate's degree out of it. So
Nice.
I went to school. It was like a trade kind of deal. You still had math classes and still had, English and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you instead of just getting like a certificate, you got a degree out of it as well. So that was just like a 2-year deal.
Nice.
And then after that, you just kind of like you went to school for a month and then you went to work for a month. You went to school for a month because it's like an apprenticeship.
Oh, okay.
Is what it was. So
No, that's awesome. And what about you?
Nope, sure didn't. I did go to college for a little bit on scholarship for baseball. Got hurt, and you know how that story goes.
Yeah.
So and then just kind of learned by myself.
You look like a baseball player.
Definitely.
I am a baseball
Yeah.
player. Yeah, I played at CSU Pueblo actually.
Did
Oh,
you?
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's funny. Last episode, he played at CSUP.
Oh really?
Didn't he?
Bunch of collegiate athletes
Yeah.
and Brad.
He's a big athlete. Oh, yeah, I'm a collegiate athlete. too. I
Nice.
played racquetball, so.
Really? That's an
Yeah.
interesting one.
Yeah,
You're
it's
taking
not like
those.
it's not like a real sport, but I did get paid to do it. So.
That's sweet.
That's super awesome. Like I like to ask, like what advice would you give your younger self if you could meet your younger self? Like let's say 18-year-old you, 19-year-old you, what advice would you give that guy? Knowing what you know now.
I don't know. Probably just I would have definitely saved money. Way back then, instead of like having to have the nicest truck or having to have all this crap to impress your buddies or whoever,
People
like
you
girls.
don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
impress the people I don't care about. But I don't know. There's probably I don't really have anything really.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna sound so stupid, but don't sell your Bitcoin.
Oh man.
That's my
How much
only one.
Bitcoin did you
Nerd.
buy?
$10,000 worth.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
How much
And-
was it at like per?
So I bought it at like $38 a piece. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're like a multi-millionaire.
I would have been. Not anymore.
I mean,
No.
obviously not now.
No.
If you sold it.
Yeah, no. I
Holy
made like
cow.
15 grand on it, and I'm like, man, that's pretty sweet. Like, this ain't going nowhere. Dipped it all, you know. And then
Dang.
I'm like, God,
So
dang
you're like
it.
the guy. You're like the guy who bought the 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Did you see that?
Exactly. Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah.
Wow.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Are you
not
are
cool.
you still in the crypto world now?
Not as heavy, no.
I mean, after taking that L, I probably wouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, like I still play
You
around.
still
with
made
it.
money, yeah.
Oh yeah, I made money. I still play around with it, but like not like I just had money to blow, and I'm like, you know what? Like, what the heck? Like, what is Bitcoin? You know, this
Yeah.
was like 2014 ish. You know, so like, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Probably
you know.
wasn't the easiest to buy at that time either.
No,
you know?
no, there's not like Coinbase. And all that
Yeah,
stuff,
on your
you
phone,
know?
you couldn't even trade on your phone.
No,
you know,
no, not
like,
at all. Yeah, it's all on computer or whatever. You know.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
and then I
super
think
awesome.
I'm like, man, I'd be living on a beach on a yacht right now. You know.
I don't. Even,
Yeah.
I do want to do the math, but I don't really want to do the math.
Yeah, it is a lot of
I feel
money.
like I feel like it was like $100 million you would have.
Yeah, I
had
think
or
I
something.
think I did the math, and it was like 323 million or something
Was
like
it?
that. Well, at its highest point, I was like, what?
Dude, you could
When it was
buy
like
you could buy an
68 or
island with
something.
that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was
you
a lot
could
of
be
money.
an island boy, literally.
I literally could
You
have
could
been.
build
On
a
TikTok
bridge
trend.
to your island and
For
drive your
sure.
trucks over there.
But now I have none of it. So it doesn't matter.
That's all right. You're
We're all
still
sitting in the
doing
same
good.
room. You
It's
know,
all
here we
right,
are.
yeah, you know, that's true. So we have a reoccurring question on the podcast. If you have watched any of our podcasts till the very end, you know what it is. But what is your lasting legacy? What do you want to outlive you? We'll start with you, Austin. What do you want your lasting legacy to be?
You have to start with me.
He's like, damn, I should have
Yeah.
studied.
I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Like your lasting legacy. Like, what do you want to outlive you? Like your legacy.
Like, what are they gonna say at your funeral?
Right.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
didn't want to go dark with it, but yeah. Brett,
I
what-
mean, that's basically
yeah,
what it
yeah.
is, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know.
What do you want to
just
be remembered for?
Everything, really. Like, just being crazy. Like, just doing what I want, you know? Going fast and... I don't know. That's kind of a hard question. I've never really thought about that.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like most people don't think about it
Right.
Until they
Until
come
we-
on the
I
show.
don't know. Like, just like, I don't know. I guess, but like, man, that dude, really made an impact, you know? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Just be super successful and, happy, I guess. I don't know. It's
No,
kind
that's
of a hard
good.
one.
Happiness is key.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Man, like I want something I can pass down to my kids. You know, like that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. You know, like whether it's fast house performance diesel or whatever it is. You know, I want something I can pass down to my kids and build generational wealth. Probably. You know, like that's the biggest thing I think, and just overall happiness. You know, like retire one day and just enjoy life. You know, let the kids do their thing and have it. Be the end of it. You
So
know.
do you have kids now?
No kids.
Okay.
No.
I wasn't sure.
Yep. No kids.
I was going to ask you that too, because that's another question I always ask parents.
Yep. Not every have kids.
I'm trying to figure
I
out
was
how
gonna
to
say
be a
it.
dad.
How old are you guys, by the way? We didn't really.
We're both 27. We're a day apart.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are
This was
from
destined.
Craigslist
Yeah.
to $300 million islands. Here we
That's
go.
right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mine's September 17th and his is the 18th. So.
That's crazy.
That's super awesome.
Yeah.
Well, sweet guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on and sitting through our technical difficulty earlier.
Yeah.
So, this has been the Lasting Legacy Podcast. Check us out wherever you get your podcast. Once a week, we upload. Good night.